Well, as we said, it is officially the beginning of that festive period, and the Eastern Cape province will be aiming to minimize road carnage this festive season. And this as it launched its festive Arrive Alive festive campaign on Thursday in Ngcobo. Now, the province recorded 238 road fatalities from 195 car accidents during the 2018 festive season, and it was the second highest in terms of road deaths after KwaZulu-Natal, which recorded 328 deaths.
Transport authorities are looking to make the provincial roads safer this season. Last year, the deaths were as a result of negligence, fatigue, and driving under the influence. Authorities this year are having none of it.
Drink and driving, we're going to be merciless on those who would drink under the influence. And that's what is going to happen. All safe season coming. But to be safe, it's in your hands. And we work with everybody, the taxi industry and everyone, to ensure that our people are safe.
Ongoing tensions between the taxi and bus operators in the province are a cause for concern. However, transport stakeholders are promising to do their part.
The MEC and the Transport Minister are involving themselves and taking this so seriously. The indication of that is the planning and the timelines they are setting us to have this thing resolved once and for all, and we think there will be a way to curb it.
She says they are committed to working together to improve their working relations and to improve the transport sector. She says peace is important.
Traffic volumes are expected to increase from next week on national roads like N6, linking the province and the Free State, the N1, linking the province with the Western Cape, and the N2, linking the province to KwaZulu-Natal. Yanga Funani, SABC News in Eastern Cape.
And as we'd indicated earlier, SABC will be putting the spotlight on road safety starting today and into the festive period. And traffic volumes in the Eastern Cape are expected to increase significantly as thousands of people go on holiday or may make their way back home. Authorities are planning visible law enforcement and also multiple roadblocks. Our reporter Busisiwe Jemsana-Mantashe joins us now from the Eastern Cape's busiest road in Komani to talk to us about the Arrive Alive campaign in the province. Busi, good morning. Please talk to us about some of the plans that have been put out to curb deaths during this festive season in the Eastern Cape.
A very good morning, Sakina. We are coming to you from the N6 in Komani, one of the busiest roads in the Eastern Cape. This is where cars traveling from Cape Town, the big cities, Johannesburg, move. And as you said, traffic officials are expecting high volumes as people make their way to the Eastern Cape and some make their way to those big cities in other provinces. And this road will be the busiest. One of the key pillars or key drives by the Arrive Alive campaign is to make sure that there is traffic visibility, Sakina, especially because the Eastern Cape is the second highest province that recorded the highest number of deaths, with over 200 deaths on car accidents that were 195 in the 2018 festive season. But to talk to us more about that, I'm joined by the Arrive Alive spokesperson in the province, Unati Bingose. Unati, thank you so much for your time. Very high deaths, second highest province. What is it that the province is not doing that other provinces are doing?
Those are very disturbing numbers, Busi. We cannot run away from that, and it's something that we're working around the clock to ensure that we are changing the narrative. Of course, we understand that the issue of road safety is an everyday, all year kind of a thing, but this time requires us to intensify our efforts. Of course, what we've learned over the past couple of years is that we need to redouble our efforts. That's why we were launching yesterday, where we urged our law enforcement officers to be on their toes at all times, and of course to work very, very hard to ensure that we decrease this carnage. It can't be allowed, it can't be accepted that we continue on this note. We have no choice but to change. But one of the major problems that we've noticed in the Eastern Cape is that we do have migrant workers. As we all know, that we have a lot of people that are traveling from afar, places like your Gauteng, your Western Cape in particular, and by the time they get here in the early hours of the morning, most of them are fatigued, and that's when these these accidents happen. And the latest of those happened this morning at around 1 o'clock, where we lost a total of 4 lives. Again, it was the issue of human factor. As we have highlighted before, that the majority of the accidents that we're seeing in the province, and of course across the country, are down to human error. It was a head-on collision, and unfortunately 4 people died. It was a sedan that had 4 occupants. It collided with a minibus taxi, and those in the minibus taxi sustained critical injuries, and those that were in the sedan all perished. So it's one thing that we need to really focus on, the issue of human behavior. We cannot allow a small portion of drivers in our roads, those who think that the rules of the road do not apply to them. We need to work very hard, and of course with the judiciary, to ensure that we tighten the laws to give serious punishment to those who continue to disregard the rules of the road.
And you talk about fatigue. What other trends are you picking up that seem to be the major causes of these accidents?
Well, in the Eastern Cape in particular, is probably something that is unique here, and it's something that we are not proud of at all, is the issue of stray animals. And we're working very hard in trying to address that. On the N2 between King Williamstown and East London, we've been working on fencing. Of course, we'll go to other places as well, because we need to deal with that issue. But the issue of drunken driving is also one of the major issues, and that is why you are seeing National Police here. They are here to share good practices with us. And of course, like I said before, we need to work really hard with the judiciary to ensure that we deal harshly with those who continue to disobey the rules of the road. But one of the disturbing trends that we've noticed, particularly last year, was the issue of pedestrians. A huge chunk of the fatalities that we experienced last year were down to pedestrians. And we understand that maybe our messaging has focused mainly on drivers, public transport drivers in particular. And who can blame government for doing that? I mean, if a public transport is involved in an accident, it's multitudes of people who die in that. But we understand that, and it's something that we've worked on already, that we also need to focus on pedestrians to ensure that we drive the message home to them, and ensure that they understand that they are the most vulnerable. If you are hit by a car and you are a pedestrian, chances of you surviving are very slim. And we also have to make mention of the fact that we always talk about the numbers of the people who die. We forget about the huge number of people who sustain life-changing injuries, people who find themselves permanently disabled. We need to look at that. People need to understand. I mean, the high rate of crashes in the country is a major indictment on us as the people of South Africa, and of course on drivers. The way we seem to disregard our lives is really disturbing, because our lives are on our hands, and the majority of accidents that are happening on our roads are accidents that can easily be avoided. So we're urging those who are still at home watching now, and ensure that you are not part of these deaths. It's possible, it can happen. All you need to do is just to cooperate and abide by the rules of the road. Do not drink and drive, do not rush on the road, take it easy. We still have 2020 to look forward to, and we want to get there together.
Nati, thank you so much for your time. Unati Bingose, the provincial spokesperson for safety in the Eastern Cape. We're talking about the causes and what people need to do. You can see the passion there, the emotions as he speaks about the fatalities that are in the Eastern Cape caused by human errors on the roads of the province being the second highest province recording the high number of fatalities. We'll be keeping you up to date and talking to also motorists and hopefully the MEC for transport in the Eastern Cape. But for now, it's back to you in studio, Sakina.